try this again. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, and today we are doing part 3 of that scary animation, whatever it's called, I forgot. So this one is called Field Trip. Ew. Have you guys been on a field trip? If you guys haven't, well, I'm pretty sure you will, but if you guys have, then you get how fun it is. Some people actually don't like it. I actually don't know why though. I think it's kind of cool. I mean, I love going on field trips. I mean, because like, get some time away from school. So, anyways, let's get into the story. Yeah.
I am Miley from Australia. This happened when I was studying in high school. Our school used to arrange field trips for students of every batch. The field trips varied on the subject teacher who was in charge of it. For example, our history teacher often took us to archaeological sites or museums. Almost every student took part because field trips carried good grades and it was more exciting than any boring lecture. My friend Corey and I decided to attend an upcoming field trip. Our teacher, Miss Williams, gave us a form and told us to bring it back with our parents' signature on it by tomorrow. The destination of the field trip was Lake Mungo. For those who aren't aware of this venue, let me give you a brief idea of this place. Lake Mungo is a dry lake located in New South Wales, Australia. The lake is the central feature of Mungo National Park and is one of 17 lakes in the World Heritage. Many important archaeological finds have been made at the lake, most significantly, the discovery of remains of Mungo Man and Mungo Woman, the oldest human remains in the world to be ritually cremated. The night before the field trip, Corey stayed with me. After dinner, we went to my room and started.
When people say Corey, it reminds me of Corey X Kenshin. This is like, if somebody says Corey, I'm like, Corey Kenshin? Are you talking about him? Yes.
To finish packing. Corey suddenly said, "Do you know, there are rumors of that place carrying bad omens." I looked at her with surprised eyes and said, "Stop talking like a freak." She laughed and said, "No, it's true. I read about the place. This is probably the most ancient burial ground in the world so far." I said, "Yeah, I heard that too. Why has Miss Williams even taken us to dead people's land? I mean, there are so many other places to see." Corey mocked me and said, "Why? You scared, butterfly?" And started to laugh. I rolled my eyes and didn't reply to her nonsense. My mom came upstairs and said, "Have fun on your field trip, girls. Now, get some sleep. You will have to wake up early tomorrow." We chatted for a few more minutes and then fell asleep. The next morning, we got onto the school bus and our journey began. The vast empty fields surrounded by small brown hills was quite a sight to watch. I slowly rolled down my window and cool air refreshed my mind. Other students were making jokes and pulling each other's legs. But suddenly, Corey again brought up the topic of how Mungo Lake is haunted by ancient demons, and everyone got busy talking about that. I, on the other hand, was feeling really irritated with this baseless discussion, so I plugged in my earphones and started to enjoy the ride. The sunlight wasn't too bright that day. A partially clouded sky made the weather ideal for a thunderstorm. I heard Miss Williams tell our bus driver, "We need to hurry. I don't want them to stay over after dark." We reached our destination around 3 p.m. Even though it was afternoon, the dark clouds surrounded the entire sky and the sun disappeared into them. Miss Williams started to tell us about the historical records of this place. Everyone took notes on their own for their project. Groups of people went on exploring the place on their own. It was a deserted land. No one would believe that this place used to be a lake at some time. Corey and I ventured on our own. I was looking around trying to find something unique when an area caught my eyes. The place was filled with huge rocks scattered here and there. I saw a rock about 10 to 15 hands distance from me. The reason why it caught my attention was the graffiti made on it. I told Corey, "I'll be back in some time."
I think it's really interesting that when you like go to a place and you find like little like things of like and on rocks like from the past. I think it's just really cool. I really like to see those.
She went to another group of girls saying, "Okay, don't go too far." I then walked towards the rock. As soon as I reached near it, I saw tribal human figures were drawn on it. The drawings no doubt felt ancient. After looking at them carefully, I realized these aren't some random drawings. There was a story in them. A group of people seemed to worship a stone-like figure. The figure had no shape except it was red in color. Then, the stone started to reflect light in the next sequence of the drawings. At the last one, the people lied on the ground dead while a black wind seemed to go into the stone. Obviously, I didn't understand what it was, but I knew they were performing.
You never understand anything. Like, if I see a photo, like, something of that, I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go right now, so, like, bye.
Some kind of ritual. I was thinking to ask Miss Williams about it when suddenly a flash of lightning struck in the distance. Raindrops started to fall from the sky, and everyone decided to head back. I ran towards the bus, and we started for home. After coming back home, I made a sketch of that drawing from my imagination so that I can show it to our history teacher the next day. Next day, when I reached school, I saw Corey standing in the hallway while 3 girls gathered around her. She was showing something to them with her bright eyes. I walked towards the group and noticed Corey holding something in her palm. I asked in a curious voice, "What's going on here?" Corey said, "Look what I found yesterday," and showed her palm to me. As soon as I witnessed the thing in her hand, the hair at the back of my neck stood up. It was a small red stone, exactly like the one in the drawings from the lake. I said, "You shouldn't have taken this from the site, Corey." Corey said, "Relax, this is just a rock. I'm going to make a chain and wear it. I just thought it's pretty, so I took it. No one's going to send me to prison for stealing a useless rock, Miley." I know it might seem I was overreacting, but
Are you sure about that?
something in my heart kept telling me it wasn't just a rock. I didn't say anything more to her because I knew she is not going to believe me anyway. During recess, I went to Miss Williams. She was sitting in the classroom, working on her own. I said in a low voice, "Miss Williams, can I come in?" She looked at me over her glasses and said, "Why aren't you at the cafeteria eating lunch?" I smiled awkwardly and said, Yeah, I just ate. I actually have something to ask you." She said, "Sit down. What is it?" I showed her my copy and explained everything. She took a good look at my drawings and appreciated me for having an eidetic memory. She then said in a serious voice, "According to my understanding, I think this is a worship ritual. But this is not just any ritual. It's probably a cult ritual." I looked at her with a confusing face and said, What does that mean?" Miss Williams pointed to the drawings and said, "Here, you see this rock? This is not just any rock. This is a symbol of Mongoose people's Dark Lord. Because in the next picture, they are offering their souls to the Dark Lord, which is why this rock starts to enlighten. And on the last picture, it acquires their souls, which are these black wind-like figures, leaving them dead." My head now started to throb in fear. I said in a calm but shaken voice, "So, what will happen if a common man takes this stone with him?" She smiled and said, "Well, I can't say how far all of this is true, but any object involved with ancient ritual is said to be cursed. Using that object from a layman's perspective or moving it away from its site are said to cause huge trouble. But why are you asking me this?" I changed the topic saying, "Nothing. It's just something came to mind." That day, while going home after school, I told Corey, "Listen, you must get rid of this stone, Corey. I mean, you were only saying the other day how haunted that place is. Don't you think taking something from that place can result in a bad omen? Let's just throw away this stone before it harms you in some way." But suddenly, Corey's face changed. Her eyes went big and anger took over. She said in a spine-chilling voice,
Okay, I don't mean to laugh. I want to laugh so bad at the way she looked when they pulled it, when they were zoomed out of her face. But I just want to laugh at how that looks. I mean, I know it's kind of rude to laugh at people, but that was funny the way it looked.
"This stone is mine now. Am I clear, Miley? But you are not understanding, Corey. This stone is cursed. I saw the graffiti." Before I could finish, Corey pushed me onto the ground while making a devilish grunt. I couldn't believe this was the same Corey I knew. I could see clearly what the stone was doing to her. I watched her walk away. After coming back home, I tried many times to call and text her, but she didn't respond. The next morning, my mom woke me up in
That's when you notice.
her panicked voice. Miley, wake up!" I woke up and saw my mom crying. I asked her, "What's wrong, Mom? What happened?" She replied in a sobbing voice, "Your friend Corey is no more, Miley. She committed suicide last night. Her mom just called. She was crying like hell. We all rushed to Corey's house and saw paramedics taking her body out on a stretcher. Her body was covered, but I saw her hand dangling from it. Her lifeless, pale hand kept hanging. I noticed her hand closed into a tight fist, but when they pushed her body inside the ambulance, a thing fell on the road from her closed fist. It was the red stone. Corey's mother told us she found Corey lying on the floor. She slashed her own throat with her kitchen knife. They have no idea why she did that. After coming home from school, Corey went to her room and never came out. She even skipped her dinner that night. They have no idea why she went to the kitchen and took the knife. This all might seem like a coincidence, but I knew it was the cursed stone that took her soul. I picked up the stone from the ground and took it back to Monk.
Flossie, if that happens, it's time to yeet the rock and say goodbye to the rock. Yeet! You don't pick up things that you find. Like, especially if you heard stuff like it's haunted. It's not time to pick up stuff you find there. It's not time to do that. It's time to yeet whatever you found.
Lake the next day. I couldn't find the site with the graffiti this time, but I threw the red stone into the sand and came back. I feel extremely sad that I couldn't save my friend from getting involved in an ancient curse.
Girl, it's her fault. Oh, jeez, okay. Well, that was fun. Very fun. That was actually fun. That was pretty fun, guys. Well, thank you again. IMR Scary Tales. Thank you so much for the animations you have made. Thank you, and I hope you guys have a great day. Bye. I'll see you in the next video.